Hi, I'm Gill from engVid, and today in this lesson we're going to be looking at some moods, emotions, feelings, and state of mind, which means what state your head is in, okay, whether it's good or bad. But in this lesson it's all the not so good examples. In fact, we're looking at 3 areas of feelings: anger, fear, and confusion. So it's a little heavy. We call that heavy. But it's important to know this vocabulary, and you probably already know the basic words: angry, afraid or scared, confused. But again, it's useful to have a wider vocabulary for use in everyday life, talking to people, to friends, to other people. If you're taking exams, whether it's written or spoken, again, it's good to have a good range of different words that mean the same things or similar things. Okay, so, and it's important, these are difficult subjects. Like I say heavy, when we say heavy, it means it's a difficult subject to talk about. But it's important to talk about feelings like this, because if, say, you're talking to a friend about it, it's helping you to understand yourself. And if you have a good friend who is a good listener, they will help you by listening and understanding. So it's really good to be able to explain your feelings in a very precise way, not just saying, oh, I felt angry, I felt scared, I was confused, but to be able to say more than that, okay, in English. So anyway, let's start with the angry words. So anger, angry, okay, you probably know that word already. Mad, that's a more colloquial, informal sort of word that means angry. Mad can also mean someone who's, they're not very, they have a problem in their mind. They're not thinking rationally. But in this meaning, this casual meaning, mad can mean angry. Oh, I was so mad with that woman. She was so rude to me. She makes me so mad. It means the same as angry. Irritable. Now, if you're irritable, it's just everything annoys you. Irritation. Okay, sometimes it can be just irritation, can mean something on your skin that you have to scratch. That's a kind of irritation. But also people can irritate you by the things they do, the things they say. And if you're feeling more irritated than usual, then that's maybe because you're tired or something else has upset you earlier or whatever. So irritable is just everything makes you angry. Okay. Prickly is a bit similar. Prickly, it means, oh dear, there's an animal called a hedgehog. I don't know if you know this animal, but I'm going to attempt to draw it. People love hedgehogs. They're so cute. They have a lovely little face. But they also have very sharp, like needles sticking out to protect them. So they have all these points sticking out, and if you touch them, it's probably, ouch, like touching the end of a needle or a pin. They're very sharp, but they're called prickles. These sharp things are called prickles. So if someone's prickly, it's as if they've got these sharp things all over them. And if you can say anything to them, and they will react in a bad way, as if you've said something rude when you had no intention to be rude. They just react badly. That person is prickly. So it helps to be able to say, that woman I work with, she is so prickly. I can't say anything to her. I've stopped talking to her because it's impossible. Prickly, okay. Touchy is similar. You touch to touch. Touchy means like prickly. You just say one thing to someone and they react badly, as if you've touched them and it hurt or something, okay? Okay, we're back to something a bit more normal now. Upset. If you're upset, you're probably about to cry. You're going to be crying any minute with tears if you're upset. Okay, upset. Furious is a more extreme word for angry. We have the word fury. Fury, it's extreme anger. So very, very angry, furious. I was furious when that woman said that to me. Okay. And similar, now we're getting onto some idioms. Here's an idiom. Blowing your top. If you blow your top, this is your top, your head. And if you blow your top, you just shout very loudly at somebody and lose your temper. Ah, there's another one. Lose your temper. If you lose your temper, you stop being a nice, calm person and you get angry and you shout and all of that. So blowing your top, it's like if you think of a pressure cooker, something that you cook things in, and the steam comes out of the top when it gets hot, or it explodes. If something explodes, that's blowing your top. It's like an explosion, just exploding everywhere, okay, blowing your top. And this is a bit similar, and I think this is a more recent term. Going off on one just means getting annoyed about something and just talking and being angry and saying things, and it continues for quite a long time. You just keep saying how angry you are. Going off on one. I don't know what one is, but it's sort of just, you just start and you don't finish because you're so angry. You just keep complaining. Okay, so those are a few terms for anger. Right. So let's move on then to fear. Afraid, you probably know. Scared. Scared is a bit more colloquial, more informal, more casual. So in conversation, you'd say you were scared about something, about an exam or something. Frightened, you probably know that one. These two, timid and timorous, that's usually somebody who is always like that. A timid person, someone who is always quiet and shy, and they're not very brave, so they don't complain to people in shops if they've been given a bad product or anything. They're too timid. They're a bit like a mouse. People say as timid as a mouse. So if you think of a mouse and the way it runs away and hides, that's timid, and timorous is the adjective. Okay. Oh, more extreme again. Terrified if you're really, really frightened, absolutely terrified, this comes from the word terror, and terrified. That is the more extreme version of fear. And if you're spooked, you may have seen a ghost or something's frightened you and you don't know what it is, but just totally spooked, and you can't get back to normal for a while. So, because a spook is another word for a ghost. If you've ever seen a ghost, perhaps you were spooked. I've never seen a ghost, and I don't really want to. Okay, so that's fear. So then finally, looking at confusion, and this is your state of mind, how things are inside your head, okay? Confused, maybe sometimes the English language, you feel confused, to do with grammar and all of that, and puzzled, puzzle. You also get in newspapers and magazines, there's often a puzzle or a quiz that you do, like we have the quiz on engVid, but a puzzle is usually something difficult that you have to work out. So if you're puzzled, your mind is not understanding something, okay. Muddled, and again the noun is muddle. That is when things are sort of mixed, just mixed up. Did we put mixed up? No. So that's another one. Mixed up, okay. If things are all mixed up and you can't think clearly in one straight line, it's all mixed up in your head, okay. In a muddle, muddled in a muddle, it's all confused inside your head, you can't think straight. Mixed up, oh, it's there, okay, sorry. Now I'm feeling stupid because I didn't see that there and I've written it again here. Feeling stupid. Oh, I feel so stupid. And I did it on camera too. That's terrible. Okay. If you say, oh, I'm feeling so stupid because there's something you can't understand, your head is so confused. Okay. Out of my depth, that's a useful idiom. It's a little bit like if you're in a swimming pool and you go in at the shallow end where you can get your feet on the ground and your head above the water. But if you start going towards the deep end of the pool, your feet come off the floor and you're sort of floating and you're trying to keep your head above the water, but you can't put your feet down anymore. And that means, you're not tall enough to touch the floor of the swimming pool anymore. That means you're out of your depth, the depth of the water, okay? So if it's a new subject or a subject that you don't understand very well, I mean, for me, it would be science. I don't understand a lot about science. So with quantum physics, I would be out of my depth. Okay, so, right. You can say, oh, I'm lost, or I feel lost. It doesn't mean you're just out in the street and you don't know where you are. You're lost inside your head, okay? And my head is all over the place. Oh, my head is all over the place. It's as if all your thoughts are in different places and you can't bring things together properly. You can't think clearly. My head is all over the place. I don't know where I am. Again, it's not in the street where you're lost and you can't find where to go. It can mean inside your head you don't know where you are with a subject. You could say, I don't know where I am with with the English language at the moment, it's all very confusing. But I promise you, if you keep coming to engVid and watching all our lessons, it will get less confusing, okay? So that's a range of vocabulary then on anger, fear, and confusion. I hope that's been useful. There's a quiz on the website, engvid.com. Please go and give it a try, and see you next time. Bye.